Good evening, everybody. We will be with you shortly. Good day, everyone. Good evening. Actually, here it is the Space Lounge. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you from the middle of nowhere. I think Pedro and I are out near the orbit of Neptune. That's where the Space Lounge is today, orbiting a moon out there. Anyway, thanks for joining our evening crypto and talk show. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. My co-host Pedro is beaming on board right now to get on with the discussion. Today we've got a good show for you today. We've collated through the the wonderful news websites we call crypto news websites. Pulled out a few articles to talk and discuss crypto topics with you guys. And of course, bring you chart information if so requested. Of course, we'll probably talk about BTC and is it going to dump down to the 70s or is it going to return to the moon, which just went by over there? Anyway, before we get too far into this show, we'll be on for it's scheduled for about an hour, but likely we'll go longer than that tonight because there's a lot to talk about. So if you got to run off and have family time, just leave us on in the background or come back, drop those comments, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome crypto chart analyst Pedro Garcia to the house. Pedro, what's happening?
Hey guys, how is everybody doing? I was just busting Tom's balls over here for every picture he keeps posting me. Looking like I'm crazy. What's up with them? Anyhow, how you doing, man? How's your day? Life going well for you?
Good. It was a very good day. First of all, we had a great show today, Pedro, earlier in the day, and we had more than 300 people watch it at one point or another during the show, which is amazing.
Nice. Now is this everything included?
Yeah, it's YouTube, Rumble, and the other stuff coming in.
Oh, exciting.
And so we're very happy about that. And then we decided to have another Space Lounge episode, so planned all day for that. Read all the news, as I said earlier. And then, let's see, let me hit this button here. And then took some time to read those, got caught up on a lot of stuff, and then went out with my daughter for a while and went daddy-daughter shopping and fixing her car and cleaning her car, and it was a disaster. I mean, my parents used to complain that my car was a disaster, and now I look at my kids and I'm like, oh my God, it is a disaster of all kinds of proportions here. Anyway, how about you, Pedro? How was your non-show part of the day?
It was really good, actually. I went out, did a little workout, went out there, and there's something going on in the market that I can't put my finger on, and I've actually been looking at a bunch of charts trying to understand what is it that is happening, and this is the S&P 500, so it's been really interesting for me to sit there and see what is actually happening, what's going on with it, and just trying to see what they're actually kind of planning to see if a potential turnaround here could be a big turnaround, and then potentially see another turnaround with Bitcoin. So just real interesting to see what's going on. We'll find out. Also check out, oh, by the way, did you know that our stuff on Facebook is not streaming by chance? You just put it up 53 minutes ago and it is not working for whatever reason.
It says the Facebook page is streaming.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, well, there it is. Okay, there you go. There we go. Well, there I had it. Yeah, for me, it actually wasn't, and I reset it. It didn't. My third time resetting it actually went through, so it's great.
Even put welcome, Facebookers.
Yep, welcome guys. Glad to have you guys. You guys rock the mic.
Crypto Mike in the house. He says hello to Carmen Crypto. Carmen Crypto couldn't be with us tonight here. She's got other duties, as they say. But Carmen and I will be here Wednesday night while Pedro is off. So fewer charts, more talk, more random talk.
Yes. So let's check out crypto here real quick. Oh, by the way, please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. That does help us out quite a bit. We talk about real issues with real situations. You've seen us now multiple times, kind of call the market, potential moves within political, as well as news source aspects that are actually happening. So it always helps us out quite a bit because we talk about those real issues that the algorithm doesn't play for us. And because of that, we everything is relied upon what you guys do and what you guys sharing, you guys liking, you even and commenting. It always helps us out tremendously. So please, if you could do us a quick favor, do it and share it to your preferred social media platforms and or to the ones you don't, as I always say. Also, when you do, invite Granny and Uncle Joe to learn about crypto and potential, bangers they could get, or vice versa,
Bangers.
bangers, or just kind of learning about how to navigate crypto and scams and non-scams and just how to be smart with it. That's it in a nutshell. Right back at you, Tom.
All right, I'm just getting a little additional social media done here.
While you're there, then let me jump into Bitcoin then.
Jump into it.
Alrighty, guys, let's check out Bitcoin here. Now, many of you guys know whenever I talk about Bitcoin, one of the things I always talk about is really where we're going to, where we could play. Now, we were talking about in the afternoon before we got off the air, the market was down at this level here, and so we have two potential places that we could play. One being right here, where we play off that 8 period moving average at that 95,000 area. Then the second area here that we were talking about is down here at our level here. And I said, this is where we're going to be playing it, right? So let's check out that area on that level here.
Where is my Bitcoin stuff? Oh, great. Graphics machine. Where have you gone? Not even.
Oh no. Did we lose the graphic machine?
It says it's running.
Okay.
As you can see, el no worko. Extent of my Spanish lately.
That stinks. Okay.
We'll do the reload from scratch type thing.
All right. Well, while Tom is working on that, let's go ahead and move forward here real quick. So the market we've gone up first thing in the evening. And so typically when we see that with the Asian market, it goes up. Potentially we're going to see then the aftermath typically is the Australian and then the London market as they take it. So potentially should be, you can see how we're bouncing off this 2 period or the 8 period on the 120 moving average right here. And long story short, you can see how far we'll probably go. So I'm expecting this to at least come down to the lows of here, that 93 area, and potentially bounce off of this area here that we were talking about. So I like this area right here. I hope it'd be nice to actually see it come down to the 90,000. What we were talking about, that 90,000 area, that we could see it come back, or potentially that 88 to 97 area, and then potentially see it kind of turn around and push up, where we could see again come back and tap that 8 period moving average as we descend. Our biggest issue here, like we've talked about, is which is going to act as support, is that 200 period moving average on the 200, where we'll probably see where the 100-day period moving average is playing here. So we're just going to be mindful of that as we continue. The 4-hour chart here, we're going to be getting a new chart here in a few, and so you can see that we're finding resistance.
A new chart or a new candle?
Oh, I'm sorry, a new candle. I apologize, not a new chart, a new candle here as we flip over here. So as it's pulling up, it's taking profit off that 4-hour 50 period moving average, which is acting as resistance. And we can see it kind of basically peruse on down to these lower levels as we come into our lower position at that 90. Now let's look at some of these things that we could potentially take advantage of, right? So let's go into Solana here. We talked about this being a play here for us, right? That 31,000 or the 231 area. You can see as we came down here, we hit it pretty strong, and then now we went up. So this is another play that we were talking about earlier today for you guys to take advantage of, right? And it went off almost swimmingly well here. So you can see here it came off. Now we're pushing up. So I would definitely One, take profit. Hopefully you guys took profit here. I talked about a 1-to-1, and then put in on the 5-minute the local low here, which is right here. We came, tapped our area, and now we're seeing a push up. So we should have our stop around here. You should already taken your first initials right here, 60%. And now our goal with our friend Solana here as a coin is to see how far we can take it. So we want to find a trending moving average that we can play off of, that we can see that the market is finding support at. So you can see here that it's more on the 15-minute here. And so we want to see this thing continue up to tap that 50. So I would say at this level, if we break below and close below that 50 period moving average on that 15-minute candle here on the time chart here, expect to see us continue lower here to come back and test the lows. But as long as we are staying above this area, we should be hitting that 50 period moving average. Is going to be the 239 area here. So it's in a nutshell. And then I think it was AVAX. We also talked about another trade, or was it something else? No, it was not AVAX. So yeah, it was just Solana and Bitcoin there for those trades there. So hopefully everybody was able to get a hold of it. And you are looking quite dapper, my friend, with you and your hair. Oh, we can't hear you, my friend. We actually can't hear you now.
I was chewing some pizza, so I put my mic on mute. But I got my locks shorn here. Look, I don't know more long, homeless-looking hair here. Kind of nice.
Oh no, yeah, you actually.
I told the guy leave a little curl because I got used to that. So usually I just get like a taper in the back and bzz, the businessman's cut. And I've only had like 3 haircuts in probably 2.5 years. And other than like when my mom would visit and she'd be like, just hack the back of my hair off. And I broke down and I had to go today. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was like, when it's long, it gets greasy fast. I mean, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it is. It really does. And I mean, and you know, you guys don't realize, but Tom is in his late 40s, early 50s, and he doesn't really look like it when you see him face to face.
I'm almost 60.
So that oily skin. Oh wow. Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah. I got the shine going here. Too much lotion on after the shower.
But the thing is you look phenomenal, bro, for being for being your 60s, man. I mean, you could pull for probably late 40s easily, if not, late 30s, and you could take Mrs. Striking out there and totally, dude. Everybody would think like, this is this is your young, hot, like, girlfriend you got at the age of 20. Anyways, I just sound weird here now. So
she was in her 20s when I met her.
Huh?
She was in her 20s when we started dating.
Oh, really?
Well, just barely, just by a few days, but still, I was like,
you're dating a 20-year-old. Alrighty, well,
her baby says, I'm hammered dog crap at 54.
Funny.
That's good.
That is funny. So let's go ahead and go on to the first article here real quick. Last little bit, I apologize. What is Bitcoin going to do next? And I should probably go over that in just a second here. Forgive me. Expected to go up until, like I said, we hit that 8 period, and then I would expect to see it go down and then continue down until I personally think that if we see it go down in the beginning of the week, right, we will probably see it go up at the end of the week. So it's something for us to see as it moves forward. So it's actually looking kind of cool there. Any questions, my friend? Anything?
No, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking, well, I think there's another 200-day moving average that it's going to break or something like that, and maybe the 4-hour. No, it's not close to that. Oh, it was the 1 hour. It just broke, so I was expecting it to just tank further after breaking the 1 hour 200-day moving average. And it did a little bit, and then it seems like it's coming back, but it's probably going to bounce back off and just go pew.
Nice. And quick question. So, our sponsor, BitFi, right?
BitFi, right here, the QR code below me.
Yes. If you guys are looking, so at the beginning of that, we've talked about really starting to take on some trades and having our community kind of get and become involved in some stuff. So if you guys haven't gotten into that yet, please go sign up so that you guys can take part in some of the trades. Once I know that Trump is in office and he's going to get going, well, I have a lot more security in that, and so I have no problem kind of going over and just showing my trades and kind of going over stuff like that. So I look forward to you guys joining in on some of the trades, and in doing that, please sign up with the BitFi.
Yes.
I apparently look like the old one.
Well, crypto Mike, you may look old, but you did go to war, so we'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't look like he went to war. He actually looks, you know, as a strong, young, strapping, man. He's been through a lot, and he really doesn't look it, man, comparative to what he's been through.
No.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so you want to go ahead and let's go ahead and move forward here. Holy moly.
What is going on here? Why doesn't that work?
I know what's going on. Why are we losing the
Now, the great to get the API from CoinGecko info into the great graphics machine.
Mm-hmm.
I actually paid for a JavaScript XML import and parser thing that automatically does it, so I don't have to parse JSON. And it's never not worked. It's always worked. And now you press the button and it says, "We finished," and it didn't work.
Oh no, that's not good. Oh, that is not good. Well, while that's still working, let's go over some of the stuff we've been checking out here.
Lots of good stories today. Lots of good stories.
So, what's up with this ex-partner tosses 716 million Bitcoin wallet? Says tired of hearing about it. she when reading through the article, it was actually kind of funny because they hear her go through and be like, "Dude, when you get off my back, bro, that was your fault because you told me to." You multiple times have told me to throw this out.
It's the old story about the guy that threw away his hard drive in a dumpster, and I think he's in Wales. And hold on a second, I'm distracted here. He threw it away a long time ago when Bitcoin was worth $1 or less or something like that. Maybe cents. It says in the article there, but the print's way too small for my eyes to read it right now. He famously tried to pay to have the city allow him to just excavate the dump. And he said, "Look, I'll buy you a new dump. I'll pay for it or whatever." And the city's like, "No, it's gonna be too much trouble and all that." And he's gonna take his, everything from that era in which he threw it out. And so the city's saying no. And now it's worth over 700 billion. And he's back at it again, but now he's apparently suing the X here. I don't know why this machine has stopped.
But he's also suing. He's trying to sue that local township area because they won't let him excavate that area. Hello. Sorry,
I was just trying to bring the article up here so I could zoom it and read it, but the husband and wife are in a he said she said about what happened to it, and that's kind of the interesting part. He's blaming her, and of course, when something like that goes wrong, who gets the blame? The husband's almost always wrong. So I've been married 3 times, and I've learned that many a times that I'm sure I was right. I definitely recall it that way, and then all of a sudden the videotape is found, and you're like, "Oh." My memory must not be that good. But it's $716 million sitting in the dump, 8,000 BTC. 8,000 BTC sitting in the dump. And he wants to find it and cannot do it. But I just thought I'd bring that back up because we've talked about it in the past. I should say the industry has. But back when it was, worth probably at some point we talked about it when it was worth 20 million, and then it was worth 200 million. People are like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. Now it's worth 716 million, and one day it's going to be worth probably 20 billion.
Yeah, like real. And he's just gonna, sooner or later, somebody, I bet you somebody has it, saw it, was like, oh, I need this, went through, erased it, said, you know what, I'm gonna pull this for myself, erased it, everything on it, on the hard drive, and then went through and just overrode it, and now you have cat videos.
Yep. But yeah, Dar Baby's right. By now, it's probably dead.
Would rot away. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Pedro Garcia on Rumble says, "What's up to our guys on Rumble? It's good to have y'all. A couple of you watching over there. Thanks. For those of you on Rumble, we'd like to get the different crowd in from the YouTube crowd. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Go ahead and take one of these things, links in here right below you on Rumble. It says share. Hit that button and pop it in your favorite crypto place to chat. In fact, I'm going to do that right now with the wizards at Truth Social.
We'll see what happens. It'd be cool actually to see a pump from him. But to you 6 that are following us or watching us, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So much. I'm actually going to send this off to somebody else as well. So I think what's also interesting about this case here is that, if you would have just simply wrote down. Now, here's my question, right? I'm not a miner. I don't know about mining. So I don't know about, I can sound very ignorant in this. But if he just simply done what you're supposed to do and write down the password on a piece of paper, and then from there go and put it into an area where it's secure, this would have solved all that issue, correct?
No, he was just done with the computer. He wasn't trying to store it for safety. He was like, he was like, that computer's rubbish now.
But I mean, it's not like the Bitcoin.
Sorry.
Is the Bitcoin still on the blockchain, or is the Bitcoin only on that hard drive?
Well, it's on the blockchain, but you can't interact with it without the private keys or what you actually store. You don't actually store the Bitcoin.
Right. So if he would just simply had and written his stuff correctly and done it correctly and self-governed correctly, he wouldn't have this issue. So.
Well, it brings up the perils of, right here, it says it on your screen, on cryptocurrency custody. Everyone talks about keep your stuff off exchanges, keep your stuff in self-custody, all that type of stuff. But then the wife throws the hard drive out, and she throws away $716 million. At the time, it was worth probably $800 or something like that, and he just forgot about it, or maybe $80. But that's the problem with self-custody. I've got a... No, that's not it. I had a flash drive here as a prop. And you say, oh, I've got my Bitcoin on my flash drive. Well, that flash drive was made by the lowest possible cost vendor in Taiwan or China or somewhere like that. And it could fail. It could short. There could be a power surge, and it all has to do is munge up. It doesn't have to break anything physically. It can, while it's reading and writing, you get a power surge and boom, data corrupted. So it's the perils of custody, of self-custody in your own crypto. You have to be really good at it. I mean, you have to be really, really, really good at it. But if you've taken the private key, Pedro, and not stored that somewhere else and hidden it, to that wallet, you're screwed. I mean, you're screwed. And I think at the time he created that wallet, that fork of Bitcoin didn't have the ability to use it to call it into a separate wallet. Or someone will correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think now some of the newer, since they forked Bitcoin, there is a way if you. No, I take that back. If you store it in a treasure or the cold storage,
well, you know what? But here's the thing. I still don't disagree with that. But my biggest issue, by the way, to all our guys who are watching us, that we just saw it literally pump up by like 100%. It went from 5 to 10 people. So whatever you did, Tom, you did well. And to all the new viewers over on Rumble, please hit that like, subscribe, and share button. That helps us so much. You can see also down in the little comment section down there, just tell us where you're coming from, or where you would like to be coming from, and who you guys are. We really appreciate all you guys over on Rumble a lot. We're trying to build up our Rumble crew over there, and so we'd appreciate it if you guys check it out. Every one of you guys, thank you so much. As I cough in your face, forgive me. So here's the thing, and I think this is so important to understand though. When it comes down to crypto, we keep seeing innovation that keeps happening with it, right? It gets better, it becomes more efficient, and then it gets better again, you get a lot of money, and then again it becomes more efficient. It is so quick in its innovation that as we start to come in with new laws and new things, it's going to be really interesting for valid individuals to actually know and understand crypto, and not to hold it in a stagnant place, right? To keep allowing for innovation as we move forward here. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. Now, these guys, obviously, if it was a fork or non-fork, right? I think what's funny is that the individual, I think, will probably figure out where you could take a loan against it. Like he says, okay, this is mine, this is my wallet. If you could figure out, and I'm almost positive innovation is going to be whether it becomes handheld quantum computers, where you can sit there and say, okay, this is where I think what it was for its keys, its code, whatever it needs to do. I'm almost positive sooner or later we're going to come across something or do something where a lot of those unlocked wallets will be able to be unlocked and figure out a way to get into them. So I think that's going to happen. I do expect to see something like that in the future, because all of that money, like you said, $20 billion, $30 billion, that type of money all of a sudden changes people's will to succeed at something.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the next topic here, Pedro.
All right, cool. So let's check out, speaking of pump fund here. Now, talking about regulations and things that'll be coming, it was really interesting about this is that everybody knows the upstart pump fund, pump.fund has become just the internet sensation. Any type of memes that could be making money, it's going to make money, right? And then most likely get rugged. But either way, we've seen major coins come out of this, like, comeonyourface.com,
Mother.
Really, Mother, that was the other one. Father, the other one who came from that. And just a bunch of other crazy ones that we know about, right? And I know it sounds nuts, but these coins here have gotten a lot of following, and more importantly, with those following, we also see just the proliferation of meme coins. And in doing that, you are now watching that next escalation of meme coin, where people are saying, for lack of people are saying, listen, if you don't help me get this going, and I'm going to kill myself. And now in that process, now I forgot to mention, Pump Fund also has a live stream that they do constantly. So it's a 24/7 live stream.
I put that one in my list of things because I was going to talk about the live stream aspect of it.
Oh, go ahead. No, please, because I think this is so interesting. So somebody's literally talking about killing themselves, to try to get their coin to pump. And I thought that was wait, what?
Well,
I would, first of all.
Right. What Pump Fund did a while ago was they enabled you to embed a player in their message section for a particular token. And people would put in, most of them started out as just guys sitting there watching the screen and cheering when it comes on and doing stuff. And it was somewhat entertaining. A lot of downtime. Guy would leave and go to use the facilities or go pick up his girlfriend and come back, and the stream would just stay on watching the chart. And on popular tokens, you'd have thousands of viewers. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, maybe we should try and broadcast over there. But you have to get to the dev. They're the ones that have to embed it. It's not. You can put links in just the chat, but on popular ones, it scrolls by so fast, nobody's going to watch it. because you want the dev to put it in there at the top so it plays. And then the guy started needing to get more attention than the other guy. And then they started doing stupid things. You know, at 1 million market cap, I'm going to light my cat on fire. And at 10 million market cap, I'm going to chug gasoline and things like that. And so people were like FOMOing that shit. They're like, I want to see this dumbass do really stupid stuff. And it worked. It worked.
It did.
And since what a lot of people did is what they would do is there was no moderation of this because the people watching it didn't care. The viewers were not people that would hit the report button. And the report button wouldn't go to pump.fun. It would go to YouTube. And so if someone did report it, YouTube would see it and say, oh, what's the problem here? But what the guys get smart, they would list it on YouTube as unlisted. And so when they embedded it in Pump Fun, only the Pump Fun people would watch, and they would never hit the report button. So you could be just doing all kinds of dumb shit, and unless the algorithm caught you, saying stuff, but you can't just say a word and they stop you. It has to be repeated. Then the bigger algorithm comes in and goes, "What's going on here?" And so like you said, one guy was trying to hang himself. Like, I'm gonna 10 million, 100 million. I'm gonna hang myself. And so people are like, "Yep, I'll put $100 on that. $100. And so they took it down today. They just stopped the service. In fact, Chuck out there said that he put our show in Fire Chickens thing. But I think they immediately, maybe it was, we were too good with normal. And they're like, oh, we're attracting normal people now. They should can their whole service. And Elon came out and just said, I'm going to turn it off until we can come up with some moderating things, which will be, if they just say, the video has to be public on YouTube, and then you can embed the player in it, then the YouTube algorithm will do its thing and all that. But it's typical. It's typical of the attention-grabbing cycle of meme coins. Just like the kid that rugged everybody the other day for 20 grand.
Yeah.
And then he sold it all, and he's like, whoa, oh my God. And he's like, fucking flip everyone off, you fuckers. And then the token with that news promptly mooned. Just boop, and it 10x or 15x or something like that. So the power of the power of the attention. 110x. Yeah, power of the attention. What do we got going here? Just missing the comments. That's all I got to say about that, Pedro.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting too.
Yeah.
I think what's also with that, and I think as we start to continue with crypto, it's going to be really actually interesting to see. I think the AI network that are being created, it's going to use that. I think sooner or later, it's going to use that type of movement of the facial feature situation. And I don't know, I just expect to see a little bit more come from them, from our AI friends, meaning like the AI potential overlords coming here. And I think sooner or later, they're going to have a face. They're going to say, hey guys, what's up? How are you? And they're going to use stuff like they know, like how humans work, to get them to buy, because they honestly understand more, know how to entertain us more than. I mean, I literally saw an AI generated video that was actually dope. It was all AI, and I sat there and I was like, it had me riveted. I was like, wow. It's the reason I'm bringing this up. Long story short is I think that's something that we're going to be seeing, and especially since 90% of men are in crypto. Or since 90% of men, 95, I would almost say 98% of crypto is filled with men. I expect to see some type of thing come along where you're going to have potentially female, just generated like oxytocin, like dopamine rich.
There's no show we can't go without dopamine. If
Dude,
our viewers aren't
up?
the most educated people by now, where are you out there, viewers? I see you.
I see all 8 of you guys over on.
One second there, Alpha
Wolf.
Wolf. The Rumble stream is running because we're getting comments on it. Probably just refresh your page or something like that. I don't know how it would know it's starting. Anyway, but it is running.
It is. Maybe it's interesting because we're not really getting anything right there. And normally by now we would have a bunch of people here. So I think something's
It takes
going
some
on.
time.
We've got 3 people watching us. Nice, nice.
I have
All
11,
right. So
Pedro.
let's. What's that?
Rumble says 11 for me.
I only have 3. So
Maybe
let
you
me
need to refresh the page.
Yeah, let's refresh here. No, I just have 3 streaming that are actually watching us now. Literally. It's interesting. I just refreshed it. Now it just turned to 7. Okay, there we go. We have 7. Alrighty. Okay, so where else do we want to go, my friend, with that? You lead the pack, I'll follow and comment.
No, bring up one of your news articles.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So what I thought was really interesting.
You froze, Pedro. Are you getting a phone call?
Nope. I am not. I am not. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Oh, your phone was on battery, wasn't it?
No. No, everything's cool.
It's gone.
Okay, I don't understand why.
You froze and then you faded out just like it does when your phone either rings or dies.
Yeah, no, let's try this again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro's hair is getting a little long and rough over there. You can't see him through the hair.
Alrighty. There we go.
Just restarted the browser. Oh, I like that tree you made there, Pedro.
Thank you. That would be the tree of life. Some people would be like, wait, what do you mean? You should be just have fruit. Well, if you go into the Hebrew and you start to mess around with it, not mess around, but you just kind of read for its actual original.
You got it. Your head is cut off on your camera there, I think.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me go and.
Let's just put him on full screen here so we can see.
Here we are. Okay, we're good. Oh, we should be good now. We're good. There we are. Hey, yeah, there we go. So, just real interesting to see. So, one of my, I think, articles that I thought was really interesting was Donald Trump's new coin, which I thought was really interesting, as well as his holdings in crypto and what he actually has going on with it. So, basically, Donald Trump, he's going to be I think in history, he'll be known for the president that brought crypto into America and potentially either cause a catastrophe.
No. What could go wrong with that?
Right? I mean, what could go wrong with crypto, right? Or the new age that actually boosted America into one of the most glorious moments in all of, I think U.S. history, right? And potentially even around the world. I mean, with what he's trying to do. And it was really interesting. We value your privacy. This website is a third-party tool. Great, thank you.
Nuke it.
Yep, and there we are. Okay, so basically, Trump has about $5.4 million in crypto, according to a new valuation from Arkham Intelligence. So they actually go through and give you how much he has. So in ETH, he has about 3.4 mil. With wrapped ETH, you can see it kind of is right there. His Trump coin, really interesting. He holds quite a bit. What I thought was really, really interesting is that the amount of coinage that he has with it. So, excuse me, no, I think I said 3 million. My bad. He has 1.7 mil in ETH, and wrapped ETH, it's about 2 or 3 mil altogether. With his Trump coin, he has about $1 million with it.
Wow.
And what I thought was yeah. Well, here's the other part that correlated with it, and I thought was really interesting. He has about $140,000 in USDC. So I would have thought that he would be doing something with that, right? Like actually, and so it's just interesting that he just has money sitting on the side, and I wonder if he's staking that money, because everybody knows that you can make quite a bit of money just letting it sit with USDC and being, and I forget what it's called, right? I know it's not called staking. Was it rewards? What's the term? So as you gain your rewards, I just thought it was really crazy. And then the other part that I thought was really interesting is he's got Trog, right? The meme coin there, Trog.
Trog.
Yeah, I think it's the
Trump
Trump
frog. Right.
frog.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, the Trump frog, right? And it was really interesting. So look, check this out because I thought this was really funny. So I'm gonna pull this up here real quick so you guys can see it out. So we've looked at Trog a couple times now, right? And and I think it sold off for a minute. But let's pull it up here. Meme coins, boom. DYOR. There it is, Trog. Look, when it was showed, I just thought that was real interesting. Look at this. This thing skyrocketed. Once it showed, dude, where it was at, people, dude, you're talking instant like. And I just thought it was real funny. Look at boom, 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 boom. It just skyrocketed. Everybody and their mama got in on this. And I just thought to just for a second, it went from like basically a small amount to all of a sudden just again right back to the top. And now we're seeing it actually go through and starting to find some support. People are actually buying this. You saw the sell-off, initial buy and the initial sell-off, but people are coming in and purchasing some of this, which is I find really interesting. So go figure, right? And I think what's going to be interesting is as we see his wallets accumulate more coin, I think it's almost going to be almost like a way for him to really build wealth without having to build wealth. Like, okay, he's buying this just like if you had Elon Musk,
God,
wallet. I think it'd be really funny to sit there and see that stuff.
Where that money raced in and raced out of it.
Yeah.
But look at those pumps.
It just,
massive pumps, massive dumps, massive pumps, massive dumps.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. It literally went from, and you could see how people were. I don't know if it was leaked that if he was going to have it, but you could see people started jumping in over here early Monday, right? You could see here, and then look at it, dude. Like once that article came out, it literally, I don't know if CoinGecko got in on this or somebody else got in. Like somebody did because it went literally from was it 501 roughly to 3021, and look at this, it skyrocketed literally in 20 plus minutes. So this push up was brilliant because whoever got in on that, and I would love to see who did, right? Somebody's gonna do some chain analysis on Trog here. But what's funny is that oh shoot, Alpha Wolf is here. What's up, brother?
Yep.
It's good to see you. But I think if you do start to see some chain analysis, that person made a ton of cash, a lot of cash. So, to sit there and pull that money out, and they had the volume there too. So there was volume enough for them to get in and get out. I just think part of me is like, whoever got it, dabs to you. But now the problem is you've made so much money. How do you split that out into other places? So, and I'm not saying it's Trump or whatever, because obviously we know his wallet, but was it his, are there kids? Was this Baron, right? Like Baron going,
that would
oh
be
snap,
epic.
Dad. What's up?
That would be epic. Yeah, Baron going, fuck you, 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 take it out. 5 million.
And I mean, he's an 18-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, we all know how dumb you are at it, and Trump is like, dude, son, get out, get over here. What are you, So, anyways, I just think it's funny because it was very strategic here. You saw the pump, it almost 100x'd. And then literally the next one they sold, boop, and look, right? And it's just, so I definitely I don't think we've heard the end of Trog here. I think, and you're seeing the people already accumulating a little bit more as it kind of sold off here. And it's eliminated 0 here. So now we're at 40, 13, 14. So I wanted to make sure we start to follow that and kind of pay attention to this one here. So to see potentially where this is, what could happen with this. The other part that I thought was interesting, and let's check out Trog's market cap here. Give me 1 second. Trog.
Strange behavior going on here with this graphics
Oh,
thing.
Trog. Here we go.
When you bring it up, tell me what the price is you have for it. Trog. I got the right one here.
It is Trog, and the numbers that I have for
That's the one I got.
market cap is 3.35 mil. So, and here's the thing, like I think it's a good side. You know what? Like you talk, if you're going to get in on something, I would get on something that you could potentially take, take some, take a pretty good amount off of. So I think it's just one of those things that, I like it. I'm not saying to do it, but I think if I am going to make a crap coin, a political coin, potentially, boom, and make some cash off it, and maybe even be a generator for cash for people, it would be this one. I mean, it's literally, like, and the fact that it was mentioned and you saw it in his wallet, like, you're just like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Who wouldn't have 30 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks just sitting there just in case, right? Like, it's how many times you've gone out to a grocery store or not grocery store, but you went to, to go out to eat and you blow 50, right? So just on drinks. So I just think it's real interesting to see.
There we go. Now I got it.
Right
I got it working. Trog's got the green arrow, ladies and gentlemen. It's up 269%. Oh, I got to round that. Look at that mess.
Oh yeah, but it's real nice and nice.
Alpha Wolf says they have Whiff and Sol on regular Robinhood centralized now. Yeah, I'm glad they finally have Sol on it. That was dumb keeping them off. Crypto
I don't
Mike.
even understand why.
Let's just jump to Crypto Mike for a second here.
Yeah.
Crypto Mike says, that's come off. Oh, would you guys support an app that was a chat app styled like old chat rooms, but was centered at connecting veterans through their conversations, but also veteran organizations as well? Isn't that kind of basically what the chat rooms of Facebook are? Or I have to imagine there's massive veteran groups on Telegram. There might be on Signal. I don't know if Signal has groups. Then there'll be massive veteran groups on that because the whole military uses Signal.
I would. I mean, I know I would, but I mean, I know that a lot of like the old timers would, I think, but again, the problem is getting the old timers right to actually get on an app. Get on their phone, actually how to turn it on.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the essence of what social media is. Mike, if there was a reason that it made it better than using Facebook groups or other types of things like that. I mean, I realize you could style a whole app around it and things like that. But I'm willing to bet people have tried that. Although it always just takes marketing.
Yeah, everything is marketing. Everything is marketing. We all know that, like, especially being in crypto. I agree with that. So let's go ahead and check out a couple more other stuff here. So with this, obviously you have Trump's main coin here, which is one of his political coins here, which was Trump here, right? And then in addition to that, we also know you have the world, his
World Liberty Financial.
World Liberty Financial. And so his family is involved in that. And so with that, we've seen them actually go through, kind of starting to support it, kind of be some type like advisors or, kind of like, hey, yeah, we'll be a part of this and get it going, right? They're not the one developing it that are the developers, but they're a part of the ecosystem in a sense, right? So I thought that was, kind of cool. Well, Justin Tron, the president and CEO of Tron, Justin's son, invests $30 million in
flip
Donald
those
Trump's
so it's not
crypto
behind
project.
us, Pedro.
Say again?
Flip the article so it's not the article's behind you and I.
Okay. So there you go. There you guys go. And so what I thought was really interesting was is that in that process of what they were doing, this is the part that I thought was really interesting. Okay, was one, they went through and they really, first of all, highlighted Tron, him doing this literally kind of put his presence on the international stage here. Now he's already there, but I don't think the Trump organization knew who Tron was, right? Obviously, maybe Barron did, and a few of the other guys, but like we're talking like Grandpa Trump, right? President Trump. Like he's not. I don't think he knew who Tron was, but the fact that he dropped 30 million on it and all of a sudden got headline news everywhere shows like all of a sudden it brought attention to who is Justin's son and what, and this is, and thank you, right? You're helping
Right.
out my family, you're helping out me, which I thought, again, talking about marketing, was a marketing genius ploy. Okay. I literally was just like, this is brilliant. And in it, we actually, in the article, it talks about how, like, what, World Liberty Financial Crypto is going to be doing, the project, and some of the stuff that goes along with it. But more importantly, what I thought also, and I thought this was a bit kind of uncool, was currently only accredited investors in the United States can access the platform according to the SEC guidelines. Accredited investor must have a net worth of $1 million or an annual income of 250,000 individuals, 300 with a spouse for the past 2 years, which I thought was really kind of like shoddy. Like it was like, you know, like it's almost going back. One thing that made crypto so cool was that anybody could have access to these major player coins, and you could actually get wealthy, right? You didn't need to be wealthy to get wealthy. You could actually put in $20 and get 100x, 200x, right? And if it being at like 100,000 or even a million, right? Like tonight we're gonna talk one that's at $150 million market cap right now, right? And in that process, you can, like, you've been able to get in and be a part of it is really cool. I just don't like the fact that this is almost excluding us, the common people, to not being able to be a part of the wealthy
Well,
area. And I just didn't like that.
I'll tell you the other side of that, and that was in order to get around the potential that Gary
SEC.
Gensler or Elizabeth Warren or somebody could go after him for crypto SEC violations. It was absolutely SEC bulletproof the way they launched that. As an accredited investor only private investment type thing. It wasn't really open to the general public, only open to accredited investors. It wasn't, couldn't just go on the website and sign up either. You had to be in their network somehow like that. Obviously, Mr. Trump has a large private network. And two, Trump didn't own anything, or in it, the prospectus or the statement clearly said that the Trump people were being hired and paid for just as marketing people, and they had no management involvement in it at all. And that get out of jail free clause, even if they do have management involved, and they're like, hey, I think you should rug the shit out of it. It doesn't matter because they laid it out there so that there's no way the SEC could come back to them and say, oh, look, we got Trump again, we got him. Or the Attorney General in New York, the lady, I don't know, Letitia something. So she could come out and say, look, we got him, he's violating securities laws, he's violating state of New York laws. They made him just a hired face for that. And that's why the prospectus said as much. And so they went around all those things, checks and balances, and now that he's going to have his own people in the SEC and all that, you watch, that thing's gonna rock and roll. Hey Joe, you're doing that thing again where you're holding your head still but looking the side of your eyes like no one would notice.
Oh yeah.
Just look.
Bad. Okay. Yeah. America. Yeah. So I just thought it was really interesting to see that actually happening, and to see, like, at the same time you see, you're looking at his wallet. You can actually sit there and check it out now and find out what's going on with it. And then in additionally to that, right? I mean, even be funnier is, let's say this wallet turns into like a 5 billion, 10 billion, or if not $100 billion wallet, right? And all of a sudden North Korea sits there and goes, right, and all of a sudden you just see them just start to get hacked, right? Like, figure out a way to open it up. So all they got to do is, create some form of hacking system, get somebody into his network, and then before you know it, it's like
Well,
it's
if it isn't
liquidated.
Bitcoin, if it's stable coins or, you know, uh, a bunch of other things that may run through a centralized, like a token, they can freeze the tokens. If it's USDT, they can freeze the USDT. For sure, if one of Trump's wallets got hacked, in 5 seconds, all of crypto would come to a halt. We froze everything till we can find this money.
Yeah.
And you would find out real quickly which chains had the finger on the button to stop it. Oh, well, we forked it at the last second in order to preserve the tokens.
Yeah, that actually would very much be a smart thing. And figure out a way to, because like I said, as we were talking about, the lost hard drive, there's sooner or later they're gonna figure out ways for innovation to come in and pick that money up, right? Whether that is 2-3 years down the road, 5 years, 10 years, if not maybe 50 years down the road, we could potentially see something that come in and really kind of take precedence, because the truth is how much money is really going to be at your fingertip if you can figure out how to get into those unmovable wallets that are out there that haven't moved since Satoshi Nakamoto.
Wow, I was reading
And
another article about that too. I'll bring it up when you're done. Sorry.
yeah, so I just think it's coming sooner or later. It's coming, and we're gonna see some dope stuff kind of come along. And does that violate crypto and self custody, right? So another thing that as we move forward, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. The other part, and yeah, that was it. So that correlates that whole entire Trump's, and then Justin Sun stepping into the limelight, saying, "Hey, here's $30 million," boop, right, and a little, soft shill to encourage Trump to keep pushing in that direction. So, which I thought was completely epic.
We'll just call it an unofficial bribe.
Yeah, I know, right? The right, it's or the far left's gonna take that and just eat it up. So sooner or later.
Yeah,
We'll see what
I was
comes
reading.
of
You
that.
mentioned Satoshi. There's a couple of stories out there. I didn't bring it up to be on the show here today because I ran out of time. But there have been a number of Satoshi era wallets, like the 10th wallet ever created, the 100th. All of a sudden, moving some big money around. And there's theories, and the internet's doing its thing and investigating. So if there's a link between any of them, they'll find it for sure. That it's Satoshi himself, or itself if it's a company, or a government, or something like that, moving money around. What?
Dude,
what? Oh, you know what would be epic? This would be the biggest troll, most epic troll of all time. Trump gets in office, and all of a sudden, the money moves, and he's like, "Yeah, the NSA did create it, and now we have 1 million bitcoins." We got our strategic reserve. Done. Plan accomplished. And you just see all the liberals do this.
Dude, that would be dude, that would be absolutely.
It would be so mind blowing that it's not. You can't. I don't even think you can possibly think of it. It's just say that they're moving. They're moving. They sent one. They sent a test one to. That's the U.S. government address. Wait.
Right.
All of a sudden, you see the U.S. government Treasury Department's page registers, boing, 1 million bitcoins in our wallet, and people's faces all over the world would be like, "Those damn Americans, they tricked us all.
Freaking did it again."
They tricked us all. But God,
honestly,
imagine if they start moving. If they start moving, the market will just shit as people think someone's going to dump a million bitcoins. But if they just start sending, 5, 10, 100, just keeps
from
going
all those
up.
wallets.
Just keep going up, and they get sent out to 50 different exchanges or 50 different wallets. Market won't freak out. As long as it's predictable and it happens, no one's going to freak out. But if 1 million all of a sudden move, people can be like, sailors can be like, ding, 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 ding.
Or sailor might be like, okay, the U.S. has actually got the backing of this. Fair enough. Well played. They saw the debt coming in 2008. They created a way for them to get their butt out of it. And all of a sudden, you see the primary people sitting, right, now it's like, okay, well, this is okay, because the rest of the world, you have El Salvador, a lot of people across the world sat there and can honestly sit there and say, but crypto is a better technology. It's a better system than the current U.S. dollar. You know what? It, even though America is the primary, the genesis of this, I
America.
would
Oh, look at that.
America. Trump, America. What? Look at what?
Oh, I hit a button and we had some unexpected behavior of the.
I liked it. Yeah, pop right in, pop right out. That's dope. I thought you meant to do that because we were talking and all of a sudden it just came right up in and then came right out. Dude, mark that down. We call that the interview.
No, I can do that.
Yeah.
The feature isn't well flushed out there. That's why I don't do it much.
I will. Yeah, we'll leave it alone. But what I think would be so interesting is to sit there and see America kind of step in the limelight. I don't think that's how it is because I don't think we're that smart. But if it did, I would have to sit there and say the NSA, bravo, Andrew Bustamante, you're full of shit. In the most respectful manner because he is ex-CIA and I don't want to, go after him and say anything, CIA and respect you, sir. Don't hunt me down or kill me. But you were lying. But obviously. Kill him. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm just all of a sudden, I'm done. Dishes are done. Pedro's gone. But in the back end, that would be pretty cool to sit there and see. And so we can go over.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the this one article. I only had a few today. My stream deck is once again not working, so I can't do this smoothly. Let's see. Wrecked under the influence here. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. Here we go. Mr. Beast was recently in the news as being part of the media called it a cryptocurrency scam. And a couple of Twitter guys flesh out. I'm not going to go through the whole article. So Wrecked.news does amazing work. Their contributors write great stories and all that. But in essence, if you recall the NFT market of 2021, November 2021, CryptoPunks, people were paying batshit crazy prices for things. And we sat back and we couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it that people were paying so much money for it. And we're like, it can't be true. It can't be true. And then, of course, months later, NFTs went down by 99%. Then they went up a little bit, and then they went down another 99%. And then, people's fortunes went to zero. But people held on, and it's slowly coming back again. But that's not the point. The point of this is that it turns out, Pedro, if you can believe it, in crypto, the market was not naturally working. That there perhaps was a thing called manipulation. Or
you mean insider trading?
Not so much insider trading, but organized buying and selling to pump the prices up. And Mr. Beast and 30 other influencers of great wealth and great stature, and you can read the article yourself here on Rex.news, actually had phone calls which they would get together and talk about, all right, we're going to pump this series of them. We're going to do, not just pump them, we're going to buy them. And I bet, Mr. Beast admitted to this too. He wasn't the organizer. And Logan Paul was in on it, and a bunch of other people with a ton of money were in on it too, and they made millions. A couple of Twitter influencers or Twitter investigators found that Mr. Beast made more than $10 million just in a couple of months in NFTs, and that I mean, which is unbelievable. But all these influencers got together and said, let's do that. And Pedro, we can see that pattern happen over and over again. Maybe not to this size. That's the biggest I've heard. There's probably been things that we haven't heard. But they got together, they pumped everything up, and then they sold. And they ended up, I was reading one of the threads on Twitter in which they got together and said, well, we can't sell these because we all own this one, so if one sells, the other won't do it. And so they're like, well, I'll just trade you that one for that one. And then to diversify things, so not one wallet was dumping them all. And
they planned
the the marionette strings, taking all your money, and everyone else in the market was exit liquidity, including our friend Robert. Robert was the instigator of this Space Lounge thing, and he created it, and he got Carmen into it, and then I came along and I said, well, I'll just produce these AMAs for you with my cool video shit, and he's like, yeah, and then NFTs went like this, boop, and he lost all his money, and then the AMAs, the bear market happened, and all the AMAs went to zero for pricing, and that was that. But it's just an interesting story about how when you look at crypto or any investment, here's the education part, and you're like, wow, that just how can that be? It just doesn't seem right. It's not right. Well, Pedro, you just mentioned the other day your gut instinct. You're like, my gut told me. You look at these charts. You're like, it's charts. Take the emotion out of it. But still, you're like, my gut told me something was wrong with that. And I firmly believe that these 3 trillion guys living down there in your stomach, they have a capability of detecting stuff, because every time that the stomach went, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Bad things have happened.
Yeah. How many times have we talked there? How many times you hear me talking, right? And I'm like, listen, the Democrats have to change their view or they're just not gonna win. And then I said, I bet you, we even talked about this on the show, and that your little critters down, those 3 trillion critters that run all through your body, there's a brain there. And I think, that your bacteria gets passed down from your grandparents, your parents, and there's got to be some real hidden knowledge that I don't know how to explain it. The ether, people call it the ether, or just wisdom. I think just like there's trauma that's passed down, I think there's wisdom that must be passed down as well. That your gut says, hey, something's wrong here, something's fishy. I'm not cool with this. Something's off. Something here. Something's not so cool. So what's that song? It's an old 70s.
But anyway, Alpha Wolf has a great question here. What's the exact definition of insider trading? Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's whatever the prosecutor thinks it is. I mean, technically, and as they say on its face, insider trading can only really happen with regulated products, regulated tokens, regulated securities, things that are regulated that specifically say in the regulations, you're not allowed to public information is defined. So by using those regulated products, you're essentially agreeing to the terms and conditions of stuff for doing that, and it's federal law. You can't, if you know something that's not public, that would materially affect the stock price of a company or its value, you cannot trade on that. Unless it's information that's material to you, like you watched the Boeing plane crash and you saw and you're the only one around. You're like, I'm the only one that knows it. And so that's not insider trading. It's you witnessed it, you saw it, you heard it from your uncle who saw it, heard it from his uncle. That's not insider trading. It's when you're at the bar and you hear the drunk mechanic on the plane say, yeah, wait till they figure this out, the stock price is going to tank, and then you go and you sell a whole bunch. I mean, if you go and sell $50, nobody cares. But if you borrow your house money and all that and buy all these options and stuff and go buy a bunch of puts, they'll go and go, who the hell is this guy? And then they'll go figure it out and say, that was non-public information. But in crypto, it's a little different because there's no regulations yet. They have gotten people on insider trading things. A couple of crypto people went to the joint because of it. But I believe it was because of their stuff was traded through
demarketization. Like it was.
Yeah, but it linked to regulated products somehow. Like either the things that they were talking about were traded on exchanges, so the CFTC was like, well, we have some oversight at that. I can't remember exactly, but it would have to. I mean, all of crypto is insider information. If you don't have insider information in our DeFi crypto and degen world, it's gambling against the house, and the house is the Russian mafia. And but regular crypto, Bitcoin, the top tokens and all that, that's not really. There's almost no insider information that can happen to that. It's so well traded. It's so liquid. Everything's so great. But all these meme coins, I mean, it's like, people are on TG things. Hey, let's all dump our shit right now, blow the market out, get rid of these 5 top wallets that are still in there, and then we'll buy it all back and pump it again. And that would be market manipulation and insider trading, if Congress so defined it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Congress does make those things, because technically now that's starting January 1st, that's illegal for crypto in Europe. And in the UAE and stuff like that, so you can't do that.
And we're seeing the UK step in, get involved in that, and really just holding that down, because it's at a point now where, like, okay, like, people are literally taking advantage of the populace, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And it's really important, I think. Really important.
Alpha Googled it while we were talking.
Oh yeah.
The crypto sting.
Yes, I got what he was. Okay, now we got it. Yeah,
that
I forgot the
movie's one
17
of my favorite. The Sting, the Entertainer. With Robert Redford and Paul Newman. So even you young guys, if you haven't watched The Entertainer, it came out in the early 70s, I guess, something like that. It's about back in the early 1900s, scamming and hustling, and it was like the modern version of crypto markets, or the 1910s and 1920s version of crypto markets, but betting on the horses and other gambling activities.
Yeah, it's real interesting, some of the stuff that goes into this stuff now. I think one of the things I think we could talk about also, and this would be something I think would be really interesting,
but
talking about.
We are going to talk about that in 2 minutes. We'll be right back, everyone. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. Let me get the YouTube thing lined. If you're on YouTube, you may or may not see a commercial. If you're on Rumble, I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm going to tell the Rumble algorithm this is a good time to go to a commercial. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for bearing with us through a nice commercial break there. Our numbers didn't drop that much during it, but we got to do that stuff. We got to feed the YouTube algorithm, and we got to take a break too. Anyway, Pedro, you're moving on to a next story. or typing at the same time. Can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yes. All right, here we go. So, I think what's interesting is seeing some articles here. So one being, we were talking about regulations and things that are correlated with that, and what we're going to start seeing the government step in and really start to bring down. So what I thought was really interesting is that the UK financial regulatory aims for a crypto regime uh, by 2026. So they want to actually go through and really kind of get this going, right, to make sure that, you know, that the FCA is trying to become more transparent to the crypto sector after months of uncertainty. They're going to come out, they're going to start giving down the correct regulations, what actually how to go about do things, what to do, the things that they need to make sure that they're taking care of people. And I think that's important. One of the things that we're watching as America starts to really come through and saying we're going to become the crypto hub in the world, and we're watching, well, Trump do it, is that he's going through and he's really kind of elaborate. Many of the rest of the world saying, you know what, if just like when it comes to our constitution, right? A lot of the countries out there have something very similar, so that they can do business and interact with us with the same values and mindset. I think we're going to see Europe really kind of, as we come up with new regulations. I don't think that America is going to follow suit as strict as we see much of Europe, right? Like the UK Financial Conduct Authority, here you go, Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, said it wants to implement a crypto regime by 2026. Ownership of crypto assets grew by 4% in the past 2 years, and to include some 7 million adults out of a country roughly about 68 million population. Now it goes in, like I said, explains, we can go into a lot of this stuff, but I think what's most important to really just highlight here is that the UK crypto regime will follow after the European Union markets in the crypto asset, or MiCA, as that's been coming out, the regulations, and a comprehensive set of rules for crypto, which is basically set to go live by the end of this year here. And you've made reference to it multiple times. I honestly think that as America comes through and starts to set up more, I think we're going to have a much more liberal law. I think our law is going to be inclusive with theirs if we want to do business with them. But I think a lot of their products, a lot of their innovators are going to come over here and want to do business with us. And it's going to be really interesting. A lot of the wealth that is in crypto, I think we're very much going to see them come here. And the fact is that as we start to move into a digital asset future, that we're going to see America's legislation, one, be almost kind of again like a Wild West, but seeing, okay, how do we keep the digital asset entity flourishing, but at the same time making sure it's kind of safeguarding. So I think there's going to be a lot of people kind of getting hurt in between as we move forward in the next 20 years. But just like with the internet, right? With the internet, it was a wild, crazy time, right? As we were coming up, and some of the laws that were passed were like, we got to get rid of that. That's just silly. And some of the other ones were like, yeah, we need that. Like, this needs to come. So I think we're going to see something similar. And just like a lot of the intellect and a lot of the talent were around the rest of the world came into America because of that, I think we're going to see something similar here. And so, who's the Senate? Was it the Senator or House of Representatives that said, industry goes to Europe to die? And I forget the guy's name.
Patrick McHenry. He was the House of Representatives, the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee.
Right. So I think that's very much going to be, again, one of those things that almost like Europe was trying to actually get ahead of here. But now that Trump is involved, I think it's going to change the whole entire landscape. And again, we're going to see major developments within the economic system that we're sitting in today. So anyways, that's it. And all I want to say about that. You want to kind of elaborate or talk about it?
No, I was going to bridge to that. When talking about the U.S. markets, what I was going to say before we went to break was that they're going to come up with a regulation that needs to get through the Senate. Even though the House or the Republicans control the Senate majority, they don't have a filibuster-proof majority, and they need senators to vote for things, and they need senators to appoint judges and Supreme Court judges. So they're going to give them all kinds of leeway and stuff. So when they're going to come in and say this crypto bill's got to go through. They're going to give Democrats a lot of what they want, a lot of restrictions, a lot of protect the consumer with all types of things, and they're going to look right over to Europe and say, oh, look, they got a good law there. They've got this MiCA law, which says that every crypto project as of January 1st in Europe has to have a machine-readable white paper. And the Patreon, people go, what is a machine-readable white paper? Is that like now you can upload to Grok PDFs? And like, nope, that's not what that means. It means that you use a common reporting structure like XML in that, and not only that, but it has to be able to be read and written to two ways, by the regulator, by you, and so forth, and like that. And I say this because on the great screen here, and I hope Chuck's still watching. I put my first white paper together yesterday, and I completed it because Petroli is the part of Audit Chain here, our sponsor, and they're getting ready to launch. I've been saying that for years, but actually they've spun up their nodes. I'm probably participate in the node system, and they only have like 5 more nodes to launch. They're just trying to find the guys, get them to launch their own nodes, so their whole blockchain system can start running. But you can mess around with the input and output of their financial reporting software, including making any product compliant with MiCA for the white paper thing. And I can't do this. It's 11 pages, SEC style. For those of you who filed SEC prospectuses out there watching us, raise your hands. None? Okay. It's details like, who are you? What's your address? What's your phone number? What is your legal identifier for your company? Or your personal legal identifier? And backgrounds. What's your management good at? What are they not good at? And it's all this stuff here. And I filled it out in detail for my, and I didn't use the name here, for the project called Moonblast from Meme Coin Rockets Incorporated. I got to put Incorporated back on there. So Meme Coin Rockets, a meme coin company's putting out moon rockets. And so it's all these pages of stuff, including risks like you may lose all your money, the blockchain may fail, our company may get hacked, all those types of things. And it goes on and on and on. But now I can launch a meme coin. I did about 4 hours work, and other people could hire me to do this for them. And your product, your DeFi product, would be legal in Europe to trade and for people in Europe to own. And starting January 1st, and there's a little grace period, stuff like that, of course. Starting January 1st, Europeans are not allowed to buy things. They've already started delisting some stable coins in Europe, and other stable coins like, we'll create a special Europe-centric one. No, all they need to do is call Audit Chain and have them help them through it, and they can become legal in this whole process. I mean, it would be great to get Tether as a client. But it's 11 pages of this stuff, of every type of information that people that don't dox themselves don't do. So there won't be any meme coins being started in Europe, at least not ones, legal ones, that type of stuff. But I just thought it was very interesting. And what you're seeing all this text go by, and it's all stuff that every regulator in the world can read in their computer, can ingest it, not with optical character recognition or reading the guts of the PDF like the metadata of the PDF like Grok can. But it does it because they've set up a two-way system. All regulators in the world now use XBRL, which is a version of XML, to exchange data. And Audit Chain, our show sponsor with their product Petroli, is the first company to ever do this for crypto. It literally is the first one. And they raised, I think they raised, I don't know, a couple $100,000 from selling nodes to kind of kick the whole thing off. I don't know exactly, I'm not privy to the finances of the company or anything like that. We're just a sponsor. But it's a big deal. So I wanted to brag about that for a little while.
It's a big deal, man. It's a real big deal.
Yeah, they've been working on it 7 years.
Yeah,
7 years.
Here's the thing. That system right there it's only going to just enable crypto. I mean, dude, I could see that system just exploding, and they have to pay for that, right?
Oh yeah, people got to pay for it. You're damn right. Don't develop something over 7 years and say, "That shit's free." No, it's part of this. The people that run the nodes have the right to operate the enterprise level software, and then delegate kind of subscriptions to industry. And so I could delegate an instance of the software to an accounting firm or to a public company that wants to make sure its books are always right. Not like your accounting books, but what you report to the SEC, because it won't let you report something that's incorrect. Really interesting. Very, very interesting. And our show sponsor, Audit Chain, came to the finish line and is crossing it.
Killed it.
Unlike a lot of big projects that die before they get to the finish line, Audit Chain's there. And we stuck with them.
I love it. And it got pumping like pump.fun, baby. It's going to, man. It's really going. You know, it's interesting. We're talking about legislation and things actually happening right there. I was reading through an article, and the article is here I go again on my own. Sorry, I don't know why I got that song stuck in my head. But what I thought was so interesting is they were talking about in America how much of a big deal it is for crypto users to actually swing and literally cause elections to actually be won. This is crazy. Did you know about this? 5% of the U.S. voters identify as single issue crypto voters in the Paradigm poll. This is a while back. This was back in October 30th. But this later came to find out, so they did an uptick on this and found out, like, dude, it was a major point that literally it was like 4% of those voters went through, and literally like that was that swing in a lot of states, in a lot of swing states. It was absolutely the crypto voters that actually swung it to the candidate who was literally pro crypto. And since the majority, I think it was 25 out of 25 delegates, and anybody who was pro crypto, they're the ones who won. And so it's one of those things. It was such a dramatic push that it was shocking. And so I was wondering, like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is, as crypto voters, do you know you have that much power? Those guys that are watching us over here on Facebook, do you understand that you literally change the face of the government? Like the guys over here on Rumble, it's funny because I got each screen, right? And like you guys literally changed the face of our government by how you voted. And it was funny, and it's not being told out there, but it is this underlying. And here's the thing: the Democrats are very much aware of this. They're just like, okay, we have to change. So I just thought that was really interesting. What are your thoughts? Oh, by the way,
I think it's too late for them to change.
well, in the next election, right?
There are people already talking about the midterms. We'll get them in the midterms. These people are going to go to the earth. They just spent a year of their life out there working hard as they could ever do to get their person elected, and then that plan goes to awry, and then they had another person come in, and they worked even harder, and it still didn't work. They're home right now drinking Chardonnay like Hillary Clinton did when after she lost, and she's like, that's enough of that. And the Democrats, they're gonna get their asses hammered again unless
I don't think
bad stuff happens. The midterms are always a harbinger of the economy or scandal. If there's some big scandal, then people distance themselves from the president, and they don't get the support and the money of the National Party, and then they lose seats. But if the economy catches up with us, and it's possible because they want to put some hurt to the federal government size, they want to put a hurt on spending, they could put a hurt on their election cycle stuff, and that could possibly impact the midterm elections. But the next presidential election, I mean, they're already talking about how to strategize for it, but they're so tired. Everyone's so tired right now of working for the election. Those guys were working 20-hour days for 6 months. They're like, I
It
am
was-
not
it was
interested
nuts.
in doing that again. Let's let some other people do it.
And for free for the majority of them.
Right, and I'm
Like,
gonna
that
I'm
was
gonna
the other part.
branch to or bridge to Kanukistan really quick here. Um,
We actually need to do another a commercial real quick.
ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back in just a minute.
Yeah, sorry about
All right, everybody. Thanks for the quick commercial break. We have little reminders back here that say we need to do it so many times, otherwise YouTube gets unhappy with us. Anyway, Pedro,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Liberal Party taking a blasting there, or the Democrats in Canada.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish real
Oh.
quick. Yes, we can go on that.
Twice.
So here's the thing, though. Here's the
Bourbon.
thing, and I want to talk about it because I think it's really important. I don't think the Democrats, they're looking at the numbers. They realize that crypto was absolutely the hidden gem that they did not see. And they thought that they were going to come in and they were going to win with wokeism. American people definitely have been just alienated from that and just don't want nothing to do with it, and then literally frustrated with it because it alienated them from their friends and family, right? I.e. Elon Musk and his son, right? It's almost so divisive that just like, how can we be a part of that, right? You're almost hurting our family. But I think what they'll realize is, you know what? Their rally could be the freedom of crypto. And if I'll put it like this, if the Democrats decide to change their view on crypto, we could see a real fight in the next midterm election with them saying, no, I'm pro crypto. I realize the error of my way. I'm now flip-flopping on this and I'm going to go crypto. And I think if we were to see that, you could see a push to the Democrat side, which is really interesting. I don't know. What are your thoughts? But Trump's and Joe Rogan's and Trump, Joe Rogan, and Elon very much all support crypto. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to play back and forth with that Democrat.
Well, if the Democrats need to take the issue off the table, but that's the first political advisor that sits down with them and it says, okay, you guys fucked that up. How do we fix this? They say, well, the issues that hurt you, you take off the table. Well, how do we do that? You support crypto. You guys got killed in. You support that. Well, we don't like crypto. Why? Because we're told not to? Okay, well, those guys are gone. You don't have to say that anymore. Do you like crypto? Yeah, I got my bags here. I got a Trust Wallet on my phone. Okay, so you support crypto. Let's go with that. And in 2 years, nobody will know that it's a party thing. It'll just be, you know, a normal financial thing. Get that off the table. And then they can say something like, all right, who supports letting all the criminals out of jail so they can go beat, rob, and murder everybody?
Right.
Well,
Change.
none of us do. Well, that's what you did. Well, we were trying to keep young black kids from being in jail and then released and ruining their lives a year later when the charges got dropped. I was like, okay, I get that. That sounds like a good idea. Let's merge the two somehow and try to keep the violent people in jail, not let everyone out. And, you know, the people that it's their first rap or something like that, they can get out on easy bail. Oh, okay. There's some smart things they can do, but their groupthink wouldn't let them do it. Their progressive groupthink wouldn't say, wait a minute, let's do something. In Canada, it's gone the other way. They tried that letting everyone out of jail thing, and stop letting people rot in jail, and crime went through. The conservative, not bail. You know, in the U.S., they're not even saying bail. It's not even bail. It's cashless. It's just the judge. So you don't have to. If you don't show up for court, they're like, whatever. There's no bail bond, and you know, no bounty hunter coming to get you. None of that. So, you know, until you slip up in the law again, they don't catch you. But the Canuckastanis are in trouble also, just like the Republicans and the Democrats did for the Democrats. The Conservative Party in Canada right now is smashing. It's just absolutely smashing the Liberal Party, because Justin Trudeau lives in his own little world, and he has thoroughly alienated even his own people to the tune. Remember that the Liberal Party in Canada, people can win the election with only like 33% of the vote and have a majority, not like a minority or a coalition government.
33%.
Trudeau won with 37% his first election, which everyone thought was amazing. It was so high. I'm like, we have to get 51% or more, and or you could get 49% but win the Electoral College. And so 70% of the country, or 65% of the country, already votes for someone else. They already don't. The 65% of the country doesn't like him, and then he pisses off half his party, and the voters, and so suddenly the majority, everybody's with the Conservative Party. And so the other day, this is what the wizards in Canada did. They said, "Oh, times are tough." And Canada's in ridiculous amount of debt. They're like in the G7. They're the ones with the worst debt to GDP ratio right now. We're going to send everyone a check for $250, but for those of only those people earning under $150,000. Do you think someone that earns $150,000 needs a check for $250 to get by and buy, you know, keep them alive until the next election? No, it's a complete campaign ploy. Mrs. Striking just sent me this meme here, which shows, you know, an upper crust woman in Africa somewhere throwing, looks like seeds to the poor peasants that live there. Here, have your cake, and it's just the biggest scandal. They're basically going to turn the money printer on, print many billions of dollars, and send it to people, basically as a campaign bribe. And they actually think that $250 will help lots of people. I mean, there's someone right now in Canada or in the U.S. that $250 will give them enough money to pay the rent and buy next week's groceries. Not the whole rent,
Absolutely.
but just it gets them over the edge. There's no doubt $250 will help you. Give the money to those people in a targeted thing, like we need to help all this group of people right now in a little simple group. You know, and it's easy identifiable. Every city keeps track of those people in that income level. They know that the aid organizations know exactly who the families are, and instead they just say everyone under 150,000, because those are the people that vote. The people that are just struggling to meet ends meet. They're like, I ain't got time to vote, even, you know, or they don't care. They're just trying to get to the next day. It's the dumbest thing. It's just absolutely the dumbest thing.
Yeah, you know, it's sad because on the back end, how many people you think there that are actually struggling, and on a back end, like if they could just break away and go to the voter area, and I don't know how it's done. It's probably done very similar to the U.S., right? But us, you know, it's late at night. I actually went later on in the night because we were talking, and you know, and I needed to go get a break, so I went for a walk, and then from there I went to the voting area where I just went in and voted, did what I needed to do. And when I find, oh shoot, Mr. Scoochie One, hello, how are you? Hello from the Logic Land. I like this guy. I don't know who the Scoochie One is.
Scoochie One, hello from the logical land. Maybe a fellow Canuckastani here. Are you from Canada there, the illogical land? Anyway, thanks for joining us on Rumble. I appreciate you commenting. Really, we're an interactive show. We're not a live to tape show. We actually talk to the audience live and talk about it. Scoochie One, thanks for joining the show.
Absolutely appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. If all you guys are sitting over there looking at that, please do what Scoochie One did. Get in and check it out. Um, no logic. There we
Right.
go.
That's the point. I think we read the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Into it.
Sorry, we got it. We know. We understand. You got it.
Alpha
but
Wolf,
was
good night.
interest-
He has to go make dinner. Thank you very much, Alpha Wolf, for watching the
have
show.
you,
I
brother.
really appreciate your continued support all
Always,
the time,
as always.
and
Thank
enjoy working with you, except with
Absolutely.
Robotics Evolution Token.
And if you guys could do me a quick favor here real quick, please, before you leave, hit the like button and the share button. That always helps us out so much, immensely. But really, thank you guys so much. Now, I think what's interesting, and I think the idea, I mean, obviously the logic land was pretty awesome, but I think, and I would love to know what the liberals are really thinking, right, about the craziness that they're experiencing over there. And more importantly, do you think, you as, making, $70,000-$60,000, you can't even, like, you come home from work, you got to sit there and figure out how to go to the next place, right? And meaning, when I say next place, I mean, okay, I got to go here, I got to put food on the table here, I got to go home, make dinner, do the laundry, do all this stuff, and then find some time to go and, have somebody watch the kids, or have the kids be, in the car as I go vote, and then my spouse goes in there and votes after me while we're hanging out, right? I mean, you're not going to pay a babysitter just so that you can go vote. So what do you think, what do you think they're really trying to do with that $250? It's pretty crazy. And Scoochie says, my pleasure. Can I go on
I just
live?
responded.
I don't know how.
I got him.
Oh.
I answered his
Okay,
question for him.
perfect.
On Friday, we do an X Spaces and interact with on voice with people instead of doing the video. But we answer questions. We talk with you. Our crew here is very tight. We all know each other well after doing many of these shows. Now we're on normally during the daytime in the U.S. here around noon, but we've been doing some evening Space Lounge shows. During the day, we're known as DYOR. The show is DYOR Live. Do Your Own Research Live. In the DYOR Media channel here. Yeah, Friday is Free Rant Friday, where you can come on our space and talk about anything you want, and we try to bridge it back to crypto. I think that Pedro, just the Democrats in the U.S. and the liberals in Canada are in just disarray because of their long-held plans went awry.
Dominance.
And it was because nobody that was serious, like I'm sitting here in this chair, like I was the political consultant a few minutes ago, nobody is sitting down saying, all right, knock that off. That's not going to win votes. This topic of blah, 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 we're not even going to mention which topics, but those crazy things that people would talk about, woke shit, that's not going to win any election. And they had to, and they were like, whoa, they just needed someone who is serious and to just say, no, you're going to get your asses handed to you, because nobody actually really liked that. That's like a trendy thing that certain people think now and validate some feelings they had. But it's not what the majority feels, and that's not actually how humanity has been for 100 million years. Humans have been humans. They've done human things, just like mammals have done mammals and fish have done fish. Although you didn't see all the giraffes change in the past 10 years. Mention woke elephants. Mention two male elephants going at it, and one elephant dressing as a giraffe and all this kind of stuff. You'd be like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on at this zoo? So
I just literally, honestly, bro, when you said the giraffe situation, I really thought about me drinking the water. I'm sorry, dude. Dude, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. What's that? Scoochie says, great point, Pedro. I can explain the Democrats. Turn of common sense liberal like myself. See, look, like he even says it. Scoochie over here talks about basically, I'm gonna call him the one. Scoochie, the one. That idea behind this, and I think this
your buddy?
is behind a little. I don't what
Your common sense liberal friend?
Is that nah, it could be. I don't know. I don't want to assume too much here. I mean, there's been times where I've thought, right? There's been times that I've assumed that somebody was somebody, right? And then it turns out not to be.
Scripty one says, I'm really more interested in the bearing it has on crypto. We always try to loop things back to crypto, all topics, even when we go a little on the anti-woke shit for a while. And it's having a big impact on crypto, because that'll be a line item that they can give on. The Democrats will say, look, we listened to the old people, Biden and Warren and stuff, and we had to, because they controlled the purse strings of the party and the donors and all that. So everyone kind of had to be like anti-crypto on it, because that was the administration's tone. And now that that's out, and the new leadership of the Democratic Party will probably say, let's, like I said, before you came on us having this discussion, someone needs to sit down with them and say, let's take this issue off the table. Let's help the Republicans get their regulation laws passed. We'll squeeze out pork for ourselves or support on other bills that we need, like regular politics. The regular politics are, I don't like this crypto stuff so much, but do you think you guys got a good handle on it? If we release it and you can take the blame if it fails, okay, that's good. So I'll vote for it, but you got to support my highway bill. All the highways in my state suck, and I need to get those rebuilt. You think you'll support it? Oh, great. There, shake your hands. Boom. That's politics. That's politics. Yeah. Not you're the enemy.
That's Tip O'Neill.
Yeah, that's
Tip O'Neill, Reagan coming together.
So I think it'll help crypto, because it'll take the issue off the table, and it will cause all parties to support it. But politics is politics, and to support it, the Democrats will they'll suck the money out of Trump. They'll have to pay. They'll have to pay. They might have to give I could see Trump. I could see Trump saying, "Look, I'm going to get the next Supreme Court nomination," and he'll have 6. Trump will have appointed 6 of the 9. And then
it's going to be crazy.
And then him just saying, "All right, I'll give you guys one of your choice, because just one that you guys approve of off the bat." And Trump would get a lot. He'd get a lot done in Congress if he were just to give away one Supreme Court judge.
You want to know something crazy? Is that I think what's so interesting is none of the other Supreme Court not nominees, judges retired. They didn't retire, and you would have thought that, and the ones who were liberal would have been like, you know what, for the sake of the government and what's actually, and them trying to push their agenda, you would have thought that they would have retired around Biden's time, so that they could go through and legitly, make sure that there's liberal perspective on the Supreme Court. But they're not, and so it's actually falling again into Trump's era. So it's going to be really interesting to see, as everything goes red, what correlates with that, right? And is that really America's demographic stance, right? And so I'm always about being able to not just be so one-sided or another. I'm about to have a balance, right? Like, we need to make sure that we're hearing the full scope of things. And I didn't agree with wokeism, right? You heard me many times as I sarcastically say, right? Like, all those, male, female, unfemale, I almost make light of it. Right, as you guys hear me joke around, right? It's on a daily basis. I literally do that, or whatever you decide you want to call yourself, right? But in the reality is, you do need, this aside to be able to sit there and give another perspective. So I'm a little nervous about that, and I think it could cause some issue down the road. But we're gonna see what happens. I'm not the guy who's gonna be able to sit there and tell the future, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because I know for a minute you were, Orange Man bad, and I was like, he's not that bad, bro. Like, you're swinging to an extreme over there when you need to bring him more moderate, right? And we've talked about this on air.
Let's be clear. Orange Man is bad. Orange Man is not a proper politician, and he's not a proper statesman, and he's not a proper head of state for the United States. Being the head of state for a country with the status of the United States, you should have somebody in there that can really fill that role. Trump is the head of, he's the head chump. That's what he is. But fortunately, the crypto stuff is on our side, and he just happens to support all the policies that the Democrats, or supports the other side of the policies that the Democrats screwed up.
Yeah.
He was always, very strong on anti-immigration, or I should say legal immigration, not the illegal immigration.
I was gonna say he's not anti against people coming over from a legal standpoint, right? It's definitely not the way. He's very much just like, if you guys come over properly. And part of me almost feels like he's not even, because remember, we forget that he was a Democrat, right? And
Yeah.
many of his
New York Democrat,
sources
right.
up in New York, up in New York, there's a lot of
So was Reagan.
people
Reagan was
who
a
didn't
Democrat.
necessarily have the correct. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Reagan was a Democrat.
Right. What I'm saying though is this is like, when we look at the immigration, many of those guys who were going through, you would literally get sent over, but they'd sit there and say, hey, let's get you a green card here or a work visa so you can come over, pick the fields, do what you need to do, right? And then come over. And so you saw a lot of these guys when they were picked up to actually get them registered, how to get them, crossed, so we knew they were coming in. And it wasn't, I think this is so important to pay attention, because I don't think, and I've heard now his borders are saying now multiple times. Now there's times when he's trolling the left media, but multiple times he sit there and said, I am not going after your mother and your grandmother. I'm going after these guys who have literally gone out, and the first people we're going after are the ones who are creating issues in America. Like, and he's made that very clear. All you're giving, just like this idea of when Trump said he was against Mexicans, right? He wasn't against Mexicans. I actually was talking with a friend of mine, arguing with, saying he doesn't like Mexicans. He called us bad hombres. And he goes, you know what he was talking about? And I go, Mexicans. He goes, MS-13 is who he was talking about. And I go, what are you talking about? Dude, I saw all over the news. And so he goes, here's the article. Or here, not the article, here's the video. And sure enough, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. And in that process, I sat there and went, you know what? What else is getting messed with Trump? What else is getting messed with, right? And it opened up my eyes, right? And then that's when me and you both started working together, and we started seeing stuff. But again, this idea of what we're seeing with the border, I don't think he's talking about that. I don't think he's going to go after it. If you're being an idiot, but if you're a guy just working in the fields, or you're working in some back shop where you're just sweeping stuff and you're trying to get things up and running, cool. A lot of your sanctuary cities, I don't think he's going to, he'll probably come in and try to do stuff, but I dealt with ICE. Excuse me, I didn't deal. I've worked and I've seen ICE come in, and they're trying to help people out. I don't think they're going to come in like Gestapo and say, all right, let's go. And it's just, the majority of these people are real people. They're not villains. These are not Nazi Gestapo / SS individuals. They don't sit there and take crack cocaine to get themselves hyped up, crush their fists into the ground so they can actually have a club for an arm. Okay, I'm done with my rant there.
I say, is this Friday already?
I know. Sorry, guys. All right, so gentlemen, the reason why this is important, I think this is so important to understand, is that in crypto, a lot of these guys will probably be teaching Americans actually how to open an actual wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like, most immigrants understand how to deal in crypto than most Americans.
Right, because they use
Especially
crypto as one of the main ways that they send money home now.
Also, remember, during COVID, we saw huge amounts of inflation around the world. As the US dollar was skyrocketing, their interest rates were skyrocketing, and inflation was so ridiculous down in Mexico, El Salvador, many of the other places, right? What did we see? Many of them actually had to take their money, put it into crypto exchanges, and switch it to a US dollar instantly. Right? It was something that we saw multiple times all over. They were able to actually go in, transition from a crypto wallet, or from a fiat wallet to a crypto wallet easy through central exchanges, and then got into DeFi. Most people don't even realize that. The majority of crypto is actually held I'm talking the small amounts, are held in in other places around the world who enter that, have exchange back and forth within DeFi and CeFi all the time. And so it'd be smart for Trump to understand that and go, just like we've seen him be smart about a couple other things. I am pretty positive he's pretty smart on that. He probably understands the majority of the immigrants have crypto and understand it more so than most Americans even remotely know the difference between CeFi and DeFi. And if you don't know what CeFi is, CeFi is central exchange. It's basically the banking system, but it's the current
it's using an official exchange rather than a DeFi, or trading from your wallet that your tokens are held in through a decentralized exchange, which isn't owned, cannot be owned by nobody at all.
No, that's not what I was trying. That's not what I was trying to
say.
Oh,
that wasn't what
I said.
The
difference. No, so the difference between DeFi and central exchanges, or CeFi is what we call it, right? Is that CeFi is much like the traditional banking system, and that traditional banking system literally, right? It keeps you all encapsulated and you can't step out of it. Same thing with CeFi, but the only difference is it's crypto and not fiat or your dollar. DeFi is literally self-governance, which means you govern your own wallet. You send money in and out of it, and you govern it through self-custody. Primary differences within DeFi and CeFi, and most immigrants understand that. Domino, bitches.
Sorry, I was just sending Mrs. Striking a good night note.
Sorry. So if you want to learn about DeFi, you probably should go talk to an immigrant. Or watch our show.
Or watch our show. That's exactly right.
Sorry about that. I just went on a complete rant. We just lost half our viewers over on Rumble because I'm probably pissing them off.
No, on YouTube.
And
on Rumble, they can stand the rants because that's what they've put up with the politics for so long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just lost our guys over on YouTube. Well, sometimes it's the way it rolls, man.
Well, it's that time of the night anyway, Pedro. We've been here 2 hours, as it is.
Oh, wow, yeah, it's late. By the way, shout out to our boy Scoochie1 over there, the
common sense
logical
liberal.
Democrat. The common sense liberal. I like it. I like it a lot. That's my dude right there. All right, my friend. I think that's it. I have the last one here, which is Avalanche. I've talked about them. I've been very bullish on them. I think them and I've talked about one of the most underrated coins out there, right? I think undervalued was Avalanche. When it was sitting down, Avalanche. When Avalanche was all the way down. I remember we were talking about them, right? And you're like, Avalanche? What do you mean Avalanche? And I said, yeah, absolutely, Avalanche. Look, at this value here, sitting at $23, $24, dude, still, it's just, they're underrated, absolutely underrated for a major. I think at the time there were 4 or 5 billion at these levels here. Now, I think they're, I forget exactly what it is. Is it 16 or 8 billion? Maybe it was 8 billion here, and here it's 16 billion. But to sit there, and I was saying, all right, guys, at these levels here, this is where we want to get in. I wish we could go back and pull our old shows up, but I said around this level here, I'm definitely going to be buying in and looking in at this level. And sure enough, man, we've already seen them double. But more importantly, the new developments they're actually doing, whereas basically within their blockchain, they're literally almost cutting the fee in half, if not 2/3. They're trying to cut it completely, where it's next to nil. They have their own blockchain, they have their own system, and they're just a better system for gaming, for a lot of other stuff. And so we knew that. We've talked about that. They don't really have a huge meme coin system, but this can handle a lot. So I said, you know what? Keep an eye on these guys to make sure we're buying in at these levels. And sure enough, man, they're starting to come out with some really good news about what they're actually trying to do. And we'll go over that article in just a sec. But I wanted to bring that up because you can see here that literally Avalanche blockchain largest ever upgrade goes live on testnet. They're going to be pushing this. Hopefully by the end of the year, it will actually go through and push forth. And it's supposed to be super quick, super fast. Um, the system itself, the Avalanche Foundation is also setting up, and they're saying, listen, if you guys go through and you promote us, and you're a KOL, and honestly, I'm always keeping up. So when I saw this, and they're helping, saying, if you're a KOL and you get people to jump on and start to like promote this, look, we're also help you out. Which again, I'm always looking at the marketing schemes. How is the marketing going? And this right here was absolutely brilliant. You talk, and I'm not saying I'm doing this because I'm expecting us to get this. What I'm bringing up is just simply Avalanche is really pumped. They're doing a lot of dope stuff. Go check them out, see what they're doing. That's about it. I'm not shilling them, but they're doing some dope stuff.
Well, the great machine worked here. Look at these wonderful graphics we have here on this channel here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Avalanche, $41, which I can't believe. $17 billion market cap. Oh, and I haven't formatted the trading down there, but it clearly is it clearly is one like either 2 billion or 21 billion on the.
I think it says Avalanche is $41 and it's $17 billion market cap. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 17 billion. And the volume today is that? No, it's not. It's up about 0.5% up. So for the trading day so far into the evening. So yeah, I just think it's a cool thing, what they're doing here, and I think we'll see a nice little alpha play off of these guys. I think we could see, and let me bring up the charting here so you guys can understand. I think we very much could see a big pump, like legitly, of Avalanche, and we forget that this thing went all the way up to $150, and we were talking about this down at these levels here, right, as well as down at these levels here. Said, guys, down at the $9, $10 area, we want to be buying this, right? Boom, guys, coming back to point. I thought we were going to come back down to the $10, but once we put this, and remember when I was sitting there and I go, guys, important to look at, right? Higher or lower low, higher low, and I did this with them, right? Boom, and I said either this or this. I said, and we talked about this area being the primary area where we'll be looking to buy at this level here. And sure enough, look, saw this, but I think this is just getting started here. I very much do think we're just getting started here, and we're definitely going to see, realistically, a Avalanche. I think, again, we don't know where it's going to send or where it's going to go, but I think we're going to see a higher. I think this will outpace, because once Pump Fund really starts to get regulated and we start to see some hands come on it, and we're going to see Solana kind of chill out. And I think this area, the gaming section in crypto, hasn't been really talked about much. And I think we're going to see it take over. We already know that one of the biggest industries in the world is gaming, right? What was
Ain't
it?
no doubt about that.
3 billion people around the world game. And so if they can actually make money while they're at it as they're playing, and which is what we've seen on Avalanche, which has been the primary blockchain, I think you're very much going to see this. Now, granted, I own Avalanche, but I also own Sol, I also own Crow, I also own a bunch of stuff. But just like I've talked about you guys with a lot of these plays, remember when Shiba Inu was sitting at the low levels here, right? And we came down back here. This was last year in June. And I said, hey guys, remember, if we tap below here, you want to be picking up here. If we're tapping low here, we want to be picking up here. If we come back down to this area here, which I thought we were going to come back down to the 8 mark, 10 to 8 mark. We didn't. We tapped in and I said, all right, this is starting to show bullishness. Start to buy in at these levels here. Right now, SHIB is consolidating. I expect to see SHIB ship, blow through this area, and the next one to come up and tap that 0445 area here. On the back end, it's just, so the reason I'm saying this is I see the same thing with our friend Avalanche. We talked about Avalanche being down there. When did Chris come on? When we were talking, I think it was around this time period here.
He was still getting hammered in it though.
October. Yeah. He should be about kind of breaking even here. No, he should be making money. No, because he bought in down in here. It was back in, I remember. It was back in July.
Welcome, Space Cat. Thanks for listening to us. It's a evening shift for you, so you get to listen to us for a while. We'll be on the air just a few more minutes here, but you can go back and listen to the whole show. We had a nice crypto and politics show talk again.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now, also, I want to check this out. Also, one of the things I got this from, and this is from another group I was looking at. This is kind of a large market cap play here, but it's still one of those things that I'm looking at here. Let me bring this up here. Pardon me. Coming through. I read it. Oh yeah, I have it right here. Okay, just remember. Boom, purple. So I'm looking at this. These guys had a huge sell-off. Great amount of volume come in here.
Are you still looking at Avalanche?
This is called purple. No, we moved on. Avalanche has
purple.
Avalanche. Yeah, it's at purple. Also, the contract is in the Telegram that I have with you. So you can see it's
purple
right above.
Pepe? Just purple or purple Pepe?
No, purple. Purple on Sol.
All right.
Here we go. And let's pull up here. Here I go again on my own. All right, boom. Here we go. So you can see here, we bounce off the week. Oh, I don't know why is that doing that. Here we go. Boom. All right, so you saw these guys come in. Look at this fatty wick. Like, this is a big deal for me when I see something like this. So we saw this thing come up. It had been playing at 5-0. We're watching this thing starting to come up here, and you can see that it's finding support. Now, this giant wick I don't like, or this giant candle I don't like, but the reality is this. Look, is that this thing went from market cap of, where we at? From a why does it keep going to the 5 minute? I just don't understand that. It went from a market cap of 37 million all the way up to 31 mil. And we saw this sell off, right? Somebody made a lot of money down here when it was at 1 million.
Wow.
Right? Look at this consolidation here. Right, there was a lot of money made here. Look at, and this thing started at 33,000, right? Then it came back down to a couple mil, consolidated,
and then watched it. A couple mil?
Yeah, it came down to a couple mil. I think it was. Oh no, it actually came all the way down to about 800, 700,000. It was sent at 2 mil and went up to 7 mil, came back down to 1 mil, maybe. Right here, I mean, you can see, I would say 800. So yeah, I would say roughly around 1 mil to 2-3 mil as it played, and then you can see they accumulated. And look at this.
My God,
so
look at that God candle.
Yeah, like, and so here's the thing though, and I bring this up. This is where as a trader, I'm always talking about how is it defending against the sell-off. Look at the sell-off, and then look at the amount of buying that came in off of this. So this is one of the ones I want to start looking at. It's kind of start following it, see what happens here. Here we go, man. Boom, main watch list. We'll start to play with that. But I think it's really interesting. Now, where are we looking? If we look to get in, where would I be looking to get in? Let's pull it up. One being, potentially, if it comes back down to this area, look for a flash crash, somebody selling off a good amount, right, which is going to be this low here. And then in additionally to that, right, if we come down in this level, let's go and pull this up here real quick. Sorry about that, dude. There's your dead cats. So you can see here that this market, if we do see it come down, was bought back, and it bought back pretty strong. And so for me, I'm sitting there going like, all right, how far is this going to go down? I'm looking down at that 52 mil first bag. Second bag, I'm probably looking for another maybe 18 million, 17 million if it comes back down here. Again, I'm not putting a bunch of stuff. This is on Sol. Okay, there's a lot of money here that just got bumped into this thing, right? Look at that. That's a huge amount of money that just came in, and you can see how it pumped up. Boom. Now it's coming back down. So if it comes back down, I'm looking at these levels here to potentially get in as it continues, if it does continue back up. Okay, so it's just these little areas that I'm looking at. Be ready if this thing starts to top off and we see it start to catch wings, right? Go through and make sure you follow a trending mechanism that you use as it continues up. But I think we're going to come back down, test these lows, get in at a lower low, and then potentially catch it as it pushes up. So it's called Roaring Kitty Chill is what it's about. Roaring Kitty Chill is a meme token celebrating the legendary spirit of Roaring Kitty, the GME hero, inspired by his I don't know, Shah? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. But yeah,
Crypto Mike shouts out to Space Cat. Space Cat's, I think, just listening, not watching. So Crypto Mike says, "Hey Spacey, thanks for joining us from the Toronto airport, fellow Kanukistani."
I love it. So I want to point this out here. Expect to see some of this kind of sell off, and so we can kind of take part in this play. I would be really happy if it actually came and tapped this area right here. Give me 1 second. This previous high down at that 17 mil area. Boom. That right there that's a sexy area. That is a very, very sexy area right here. That previous high where it just shot up, came back, test, and then skyrocket in flight. Afternoon delight. Wow. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
right, guys.
Purple on Sol.
Purple on Sol, I'm checking it out. One of like we're gonna start doing some more trades, some other stuff out there that is definitely good plays for us. I won't say good plays, but just little stuff that we could take in to bring in a little bit of profit for our community. You guys get in on some good plays on the large caps, or on the blue chip, and I want to start bringing in some medium cap to low cap plays that actually have real volume. They can actually not just, we got a lot of the smaller communities that come on that shield their project. We look at it, we check out, but I'm looking to be playing really with the next, like the 100 million, 50 million area tokens there, where there is substantial community, there is a substantial group of pushing it. And so if I see, one of the things I'm looking at is seeing callers, people that are mentioning this stuff, pushing through, and then we're looking to just take profit at it as it's moving up, as it continues. So expect to start seeing that also as we start to play around with these DGEM plays. So that's in a nutshell.
Mike, I think you're talking about the Green Bay Packers. If anyone would ever think about tokenizing a professional sports team, like the team is the business. The Packers, as far as I can tell, are the only NFL team, and that includes not NFL, United States or North American team that is owned by its community. It's essentially a community takeover, and shares are issued of the Green Bay Packers, and one of my friends, a guy I worked with as my engineer for a number of years at my old company, he bought one share and he had it in a frame on his wall, along with the note that said he was 66,000 His position on the waiting list was number 66,000 to buy tickets, season tickets to the Packers games, and that was in 2009 or so. He told me that just recently he said he's crossed the 40,000 mark, and now he's into the 39,000s.
So he has a chance.
Right. So that's what he said. So there's a chance.
Still a chance.
But anyway, yeah. I frankly, I think it would be a really interesting thing to see people trade like DGen. Oh man, I'm out of the Yankees. They're winning the World Series. Damn it, I sold them too soon. I faded on the Yankees at the beginning, so I bought the Orioles. And then I ended up at the Dodgers, and they ended up trying to win the World Series. Happen. But I got hacked and I lost my Dodgers.
It's gonna happen, dude. You know it's gonna happen. They were doing it over with sports memorabilia when it came to soccer for the World Cup, right? They were selling like NFTs for the goals and all that, dude. There was major stuff actually happening. So, dude, why wouldn't it happen over with big like football games and like baseball game? It's gonna happen. I just don't see it. That will be a part of the whole entire thing for when people are betting, or take, what do you call it, when they have their sports, when they call it sports league. And how that, it's fantasy league. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? That just makes sense. Get your Trump dance in.
Doing the Trump dance. Yes, Crypto Mike, it is game over already. 2 hours with us in the daytime and then 2 hours in the evening is a lot. But I like tonight's show. We got a lot more talking done. We got more interesting stuff out of the way to talk about. And so I like that. Load up the... Not time yet, but anyway, on a programming note, we'll be here tomorrow for the usual show. If you're watching this on the replay, well, there's just lots of shows for you to keep binge watching. Just like I'm binge watching Peaky Blinders right now. There's lots for you to watch. But we'll be here tomorrow at noon or so, 12:15, 12:30, somewhere in there. We'll let you know tomorrow. No evening show tomorrow. And then Wednesday we'll have a daytime show. But we'll have a Space Lounge in the evening, but it'll just be Carmen and I. So all the night when everyone's out getting hammered before American Thanksgiving, but Wednesday nights when it's just the bars are packed. Carmen and Pedro's going to be one of them. Carmen and I will be on the mic here, catching up with Carmen, seeing what's going on in crypto and all that. But anyway, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We really appreciate it. On behalf of Pedro and I, everyone, have a great evening. And listen to the music as it fades out. Woo, 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 woo.